There we go. It's another week and another video. We're in Tina G. I'm a Crazy Chris on the camera. It's Pete C from Cortina City, and something really special's coming up for you. This is a little bit of an intro. We're going to look at an old garage. There's some classic cars in there. I don't really know what. I know there's an XKR in there. My friend's got a garage. His dad sadly passed away. He said, can you document this garage before he sells it, and in case it ever gets levelled or someone doesn't take it on as a garage, he'd like to document it. So we're going to go downtown and check it out. It's an old school garage, dates right back to the 20s. Used to be a rock factory, Southport Rock, sunny Southport Rock, and it then became a mechanic's garage, and it's a bit of a time warp. We don't know what to expect. Let's just go and see. But there's plenty of cars undercover. Rumours are there's a Bentley there. I know there's an XKR there. I know some old garage type equipment and tools. Let's go and document it for my friend. He's got it forever then. We'll see you in a sec.
We're having a go with it the other day.
I've not got to work on your Astra, have I, Chris? Just because you're doing the filming.
Yeah?
I don't work on that car. I don't know where this guy is. It's like doing a stakeout, this.
Yeah,
There's some Jags over there.
But
I'm going to check this garage out. But Chris has just brought up the subject of the Astra, and I was hoping he wouldn't mention it today. And it's been mentioned. The Astra work, it's absolutely ruined. I want nothing to do with that car. Here he is. Sweet, it is that one.
Captain Kennedy.
Oh, is it? He's here. The captain's
we'll find
here.
out in a minute.
Right, the people are here. So let's go check this out. We were sort of like drifting off then. I was like sort of nodding off, and then Chris started going about Astra. It woke me up a bit. With loads of adrenaline started flowing, thinking, oh, how can I get around it? Is there anything I can do not to do that car? I'm not interested, Chris. It's rotten. Can you not bang a racy? Then it doesn't matter.
Getting there now, then.
We're here. We got a pigeon there building a nest. We're here. Old school garage. All I can say is we don't know what to expect, but we've been given the keys. The keys to the kingdom. Let's close behind us, Chris. But we've got Land Cruiser. That's a big beast.
It is. It's massive. I can't get it in the shop.
Whoa!
I can't get it in the shop properly. It's such a big one.
The size of it.
Yeah.
They left us some drinks as well, by the way. And the keys, look.
Oh, very nice.
Old school cream soda there.
Yeah.
Have you had a swig already?
And there's a Volvo and all. S80.
Well, I can honestly say, Chris, I know nothing about these.
S80 2.4. Very nice car.
It's very square, isn't it? Look at these
Yeah.
lines. Look at that chiseled lines. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's jawbone. Look, boom, chisel.
Yeah, I like the styling on these.
Jump,
Yeah,
chisel.
I do
I would
like.
have just loved to have seen the creases in his pants. I bet they were like that. The designer's creases in his pants. Open for you. Leather, is it?
Yeah, full
Does
leather.
it do it for you, Chris?
It's nice, is that, isn't it? I mean,
Get in and have a little
look
walk.
at that, electric seats, electric mirrors, electric everything.
You gorge on
Nice
that.
luxury barge.
Tell you what, this cream soda's nice. Not sure the calorific content. Vanilla and cream. Whoa. I go good with a burger, that, Chris.
Oh yeah.
So, right, I mean, look at the size of it. Can you see the size of this place? Look at
Yeah.
that chit chat. What is it? I mean, what's the score? What is it? Engine size, everything hit me, baby. Hit me good. 2.4.
It's a 2.4. I think the 2.4 is a petrol engine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 5-cylinder. I don't.
That's an odd number. That
Yeah, I'm not totally up on them.
See, 5 cylinders is uneven. That would do my OCD.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's 5-cylinder engine. I'm not 100% on it.
These are a collectible, though, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They have a good following. Yeah, yeah.
It was. I mean, I don't know that much, but
I don't know. I don't know what year that is. It's got a private plate on
Did he
it.
say he has any more locks, or is it just
I will
this
guess it's.
Which how many key?
I think just that one with the key in it.
Them locks are easy.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what year this is. Do you think it'd be 90s?
Yeah, but
Do you think it's about 90s? Oh, that's open now. Yeah, I don't know. I would guess 1990s.
size of the shifter.
Oh yeah,
Eight's got one of them fold down.
That's a monster.
I was after one of these.
oh, and it's got the high and low range and all because it's proper. This is, you can actually drive this off road. It's not a.
These are those anti.
This don't mess about. 130,000 miles.
These are those anti-glare shields. You know, for nighttime driving.
Oh
I was
yeah,
after
yeah,
one of them.
Huh?
You know, for them them crappy LED lights. Never buy a car with them on. Chris, these locks are
Right.
up now. We can get in here.
The main event. It's the main event. What's in here? Is it pushing?
Oh no! Try turning the lock.
Oh yeah. That always helps.
Getting the glasses dark.
Yeah.
It was a bit.
It was sunny earlier.
a little bit of sunshine
We did
there.
have sun earlier.
If I put them there.
Don't know what happened
Right,
to
there's
it.
the keys to the Cortina. Cause... Whoa! XKR straight away. Come on in and look at this garage. What's that little lump in the floor? Nearly went flying. We're in, folks. We're in. That's a 70s heater over there. Look at that. Oh no, it's not. It's just a 70s bit of board. That's that like stuff. Whoa, whoa.
No,
whoa,
that's a
whoa,
consumer unit. We don't want to mess with that.
whoa. Right, so untouched.
I like them signs.
Now he told me this building dates back to 1920 and it was a rock factory.
Have we got any lights?
Do we need
Be able
them?
to? Yeah. Well, I think we'd see better with them on. I think things in the video would show better. Yeah, that's it.
There's an aerial photograph of it here.
Mm.
Let's start at this end because obviously I can see cars here.
You know, the aerial photo there.
Gunson compressor.
Train that's crashed through a station. Wow.
Yeah, that's a famous picture. That I think it was New York. That was it Central Station? Oh no, it's France. It's
Oh, right, it's in France.
Yeah. Of the west to the west. So was that east? O-U-E-S-T. It's
I
French.
think west.
It's French.
I think that's west.
I was really good at French. Obviously not. 6861. But is it a black 5? MG.
MJB there.
Art Deco picture there.
Yeah. Oh, look, some. So obviously, are they off actual cars? You reckon? Those plates. I would imagine they are.
I don't think they're copies, no.
Maybe cars that have been imported into this country, and that's the, regs they had in America. Mm. Tools, a lot of old.
Look at that.
Yeah, that'll be a few years old, won't it?
Mind you, it's not printed on. It's always sad when someone's passed away and you've got to go through things. I think just for the viewers, it's one of my friends. I've known him for years. It was his dad's garage. He just wants us to document it and have a look round. I think it's a really great thing for him to do. And he reckons his dad would be okay if he did something like this to just show, in case when it sells, because it isn't for sale, that it gets radically changed and you lose the way that it was. So we're
Some old plates there. Do you reckon that's off a P6? What shape of it?
Chris Iron. I remember Chris Iron. He was a car dealer. Yeah. Obviously, he's on the reg plate.
No. Picture of a Bentley.
Look. What's that in front of it on the motorway?
I don't know what that is. I know that's a Bentley, but
Some of the stuff on the window edge hasn't moved for years.
no, it's been there a while.
Look at this old beast. Look at this old beast. charger. It is a charger. 19. Look at the state of the wheels on that. Yeah, listen to that. Solid, because it's a big, massive transformer. It's a quick starter, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know whether it still works or not.
Jump start part. Right, so we've got cars.
Batteries.
Is it? What about the compressors? That's a beast. The compressor, isn't it?
That's a big old thing, yeah. I mean, what year do you reckon it is? What sort of era?
70s. Although that looks newer, it looks like a newer system on an older tank, but could be wrong. Old school drill.
Pillar drills.
That's one of them old type switches there, Bakelite type. I like that.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a nice
yeah.
clock, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah.
If in doubt, ask. Don't know how well the camera picking that side
You
up.
like this train? Bradford class engine.
Look at that. If the kettle's been here years, look at that. That's a
Whoa!
fair bit of use, has that?
Woohoo!
My mum and dad having a kettle like that when I was a kid.
That is 70s. That's your Swan 70s kettle, that.
Yeah. Some stuff in here. Parts that have been pulled off various cars.
So,
Royal.
first thing you see me in the XKR.
Well, is it open? Can you get in it? Can see you in it then if you get inside it. Ooh. So is this your bag then?
This is my bag, yeah. It's a convertible though, but I don't.
Convertibles in Britain. Yeah.
But these are going up. These are investments. If they're not rotten.
If they're not rotten and the roof don't leak like a sieve, yeah?
That's some work.
Yeah, not sure at year because it's private plate.
I just look at both to wear straight away.
Well, what would you say? When did they start making them? 97 was it, something?
Yeah, mine was R98, I think it might have been 97. Or my XJR.
Let's have a look at get the interior from that side.
Headline side.
Don't look in bad order though. It looks
Size of this thing, see it.
headlining sagged a little, yeah. Don't look bad though. What's the bodywork like?
Yeah, well, sills. It's had some paint on that. You can see that's had new stone chip on it.
It's starting to go at the bottom of the arch there. Just starting to take hold, but
Looks alright.
yeah, it's not.
Keep going round and stuff. Cause
Yeah, I'll just keep
I'll ask him about
continuous shot.
I'll ask him about this car.
Well, Pete's interested.
Yeah, that's. But we haven't. There's other cars yet. Look at the size of this hoist. This mobile hoist. That'll lift a tank. Where's my cream soda?
There's a big one in it.
Where's my cream soda?
Oh,
What's cream soda?
old phone here.
One orange whip. One orange whip. Two orange whips. One orange whip. Three orange whips. Three orange whips. One orange whip. Three orange whips.
Southport 27515. When did they stop doing 5-digit phone numbers?
Hey,
Oh, an outboard motor there. What's this off, Pete?
it's 8-horse engine, is it?
Says Mercury 8.
Yeah,
8.
Just your outboard. Just off an inflatable, just back of an inflatable off you go. Mercury.
So I'm getting an overview of the garage. That looks like
Look at that.
a Bentley under the wraps, doesn't
This
it?
won't fit in my garage. You lift the car up on that, wouldn't you? Wow. I've never seen anything like that before.
No.
Whoa. Look at this car.
Is that Bentley? I believe it is.
There's the money.
Yeah. Show me the money.
Pop up. Wash it. Oh, no, it sandals it for what they'll pop up.
Oh right. Yeah. Ah, so that's how it washes the headlights. Yeah. Not seen them like that before.
Water has a tendency to do that. Look at that for an impact. Easy fixed.
Oh
This is
yeah.
a beef.
Stone chips in it.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Big stone.
Yours for 4K. Yours for 8K. Tell you what, this looks nice, mate.
4K? Yeah, I think it'd be a bit more than that, but
Look at the colour of the interior, Chris. You're going to be reminded of another car in this interior.
let's just get this back so I can open the door. Oh yeah, it's like ruby, isn't it, and bramble. What do you think? Not as nice as brambles, though, is it?
It is.
Oh, I love that everything in it's red, like the dashboard and everything. Just yeah, the whole lot.
Oh, mate, sit in.
Why don't they make cars with red interiors anymore? Anyway, why are they all black? Smells nice and old, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a pity you can't do the smell on the video. So about this one then, Pete, is this your cup of tea and all?
Yeah.
Even though you struggle parking it anywhere.
It's just like retro. It's just like they built a car and made it look old. It's just like, right, let's just,
Yeah, but it's retro in a nice way, innit? You know. Although it has that centre section's quite modern, innit? That's got modern switches in it. You know, then there's the other stuff like the like these switches for the.
But what is it? I know it's Bentley, but what type of Bentley is it?
Good question.
Look in the back.
Let's just get the.
Imagine Queen Elizabeth II herself sat in the back of her. Look at that.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
And if them headrests are electrically adjustable at the back, it looks like.
I would have thought so. It looks like the seats are. Looks like it can move the seats electrically.
Oh, what a machine. What a beast.
Oh, you tempted to buy this one and all?
Yeah. Buy this one as well.
Oh dear. Is Pete going to be skint by the end of the day?
Wow. Look at the front of that. You could just look at that. It's a beautiful car. And now,
Certainly nice.
does MG do it for you?
Oh, we need to find out what model it is, don't we? Wait a minute. I bet it tells you on the boot lid. Just find out what model this Bentley is. Sure, some people in the live chat have already said. And I don't know, we've got no badges on the back. Yeah, somebody in live chat will have pointed out what model it is, I bet.
Well, there's an MG here.
Oh, let's have a look at the MJ then.
So. Amarillo yellow.
Yeah, MGB Roadster.
What size engine's them? It's not the V8, is
I
it?
think it doesn't say V8 on it, so I'd assume it's just the 1.8 B series engine.
Yeah. I think that's right. B series was the one for this.
Yeah.
But you could have the V8 in this type, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could M plate. Yeah, they did the V8s. I think were it 72 to 77 or something like that. They did the V8s.
Been looked after as well.
It's in nice condition, isn't it? It's yeah. Like I said, M-Reg, what's that? 73, 74, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, got its black crackle finish dash. Vinyl seats. Is it crinkle, not crackle? Crinkle. Oh, got it.
Well, it could be crackle.
Yeah, one or the other. If you know what the right one is, point it out. Nice chrome bumper version anyway, before they spoiled its looks with the rubber bumpers.
Well, it's not Hoover, it's a vacuum machine.
Oh yeah, you love your vacuum cleaners, don't you?
What's that? Oh wow. Pump and motor.
Oh, look, I think there'll be enough for going in on that.
It's a Sealy.
Oh.
Auto valet.
Also, it's proper, yeah,
It's a real deal, that.
proper car valeting one,
What
innit?
about the cars? I just want that.
Oh,
Now then, how about this? Is it a Land Crab or what is this? No, it's not a Land. Hey, I've never. It's a Maxi, isn't it?
oh yeah,
What we got?
Austin Maxi, series 3 is it? Series 3 with the.
Mum had one of these.
I recognise it. I recognise them wheel trims. It's definitely a late one. Is that?
Stick your nose in there, get your laughing chops around that one.
I remember my mum and dad had one of these when I was a kid. There were loads of room inside it. Oh, when you're 6 years old, they seem enormous. But yeah, that's in nice order actually. Fabric seats in a fetching shade of beige. Nice wooden dashboard. It all looks in good order.
Comes with Michael Jackson's first CD.
It's this is a late one though, because it's
With the chart here.
the bumpers are they originally had chrome bumpers. This has got the black bumpers on it, so it'll be. Have we got the front of it,
What
Pete?
year's your Astra?
95.
Not on there then, is it?
No, it's a Mark 1.
But yours isn't a classic, is it really?
Oh no, there's a Mark 2 on it. Not yet, not
It's a
really.
banger, isn't it? Really?
Still classed as a banger, yeah.
Hey, comes with
Hey, I know.
This is it. This is it.
No, thriller. This is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it.
So what reg is that, Pete? Can you get round the back to have a look?
Round the back.
It's a late one.
X.
X plate. I think that's the last registration they made. Max is on.
X marks the spot of rust.
We need Steph to verify it.
Yeah, ask her.
She'd know. She loves these cars.
Transmission jack.
Looks in good condition as well. I don't know.
Transmission jack.
Actually, she might know somebody who'd want to buy this. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
She'd probably know somebody who'd want that. Or could it be one for?
That's in good nick, that well then.
Could it be one for Steph? This.
Hey up. Look at this.
Looks in good
Genuine
order.
snap-on roller cabinet. Look at that.
That's a big one, is that, isn't it?
These fan cabinets in there.
Few quid there.
There's your history in here, mate. All
Yeah.
the old car documents. Going back to the 50s in here.
Some Haynes manuals and all.
Dial gauge. Stand.
Oh yeah, that's an old one, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's going to be? Well, just a complete guess of what this is going, what car this Haynes is going to be. Just total. Just, you never know, because we've generally no idea. So.
I'll go with Austin 1100.
Oh, I can't. I've pulled it out.
Oh, Talbot Horizon. I'd never guess that one.
I wouldn't. I was going to say XKR, but I don't think you did one for that.
Austin Morris. That's the Marina van, isn't it?
These are interesting, aren't they, these books?
Yeah.
I remember where everything went. Don't want to mess stuff up. Obviously, we don't people's personal details, but the car stuff's fine. That's personal stuff.
Nope. Yeah, I don't want to film that. Oh, there's a lot of boxes up on.
You know, as you get deeper into the cupboards, or not the cupboards, but we're looking for car bits, by the way. We're not looking at poking in someone's life, but we're looking for things that got put right at the back, like in the 1960s, and it's never, you know, like an old oil can or.
Yeah, any interesting artifacts. Anything old, isn't it?
Obviously, when you see a lock on something, you think.
Yeah. It's obviously a lot for a reason. Ah, what's that oil can?
No. Oh! Whoa! A maxi then.
Yeah, it looks in good nick. It's if you pull a bit more at plastic off, we can see what.
Is it a long wheelbase or something?
No, that's just how they were. It's got the same. It's got the same doors as the Land Crab, but it's a hatchback. Quite a. Yeah, we're a bit of a. I don't know, a bit of a cobbled together design. But like I said, there's loads of room inside. Very spacious.
Oh wow, it's got a set of on the road books. Oh, there's some gold here.
Let's get round and I can film it.
Oh, get some blaster.
Oh yeah,
UNICEF.
UNICEF.
I thought they were a rescue company for children.
Hmm.
The nuclear briefcase.
What's in that then?
Badasses in boiler suits are piling now and covers to death. These are the secret nuclear launch codes. Whoa, we're in.
Are we in? What's in it?
No, personal effects.
Oh, alright, not film that then. Oh, that's a. What's that out of, Pete? Out of a wooden dashboard, isn't it?
Yeah, full. Look.
Oh, it's full one. Yeah, I wonder what car.
That. So look.
What car's that?
British Leyland maybe.
Don't know.
Walnut finish.
Yeah,
Don't know.
still looks in not bad condition.
There's a little bit of crack on it. Whoa! Asbestos sheets.
Oh, yeah, I don't want to mess with those. What's that thing?
Is it an exhaust muffler? I think it's off the car. It's got some oil filters there. Random check in the drawer. Feel like a thief.
No.
Oh, MGK spark plug central, a complete box full. Old ladder. Now then, there's some very nice books here.
There's the On the Roads.
Look.
Ooh, that's Cortina.
Mk3 Cortina. There you are. There you go. There you go.
Oh, Cortina stuff. Getting excited now.
Yeah. Ooh. Blackburn and Burnley. One for Dave. £1.40, so reasonably recent. Nice map. What is that, Cortina Mark II? Yeah. Nice.
Is it the manual for it, isn't it? Yeah.
History book.
Yeah. What year is that?
Well, it's for Mark II. This is dated as. So look. The Southants Motor Company Limited sold this.
Oh, it says there 69.
Yeah. Well, 69 range. Yeah.
Ah.
Someone's Cortina. I wonder if that's still on the road. So let's have a look. So you're looking for registration number Whoa! Nice. Can't not got reg plate on that. Wow. Yeah. But it's too small to be. It is. It's a little baby colour tune.
Oh, that's definitely your sort of thing, Pete.
It's a nice little piece. Look, there it is.
Yeah.
It's one of the early ones. Very early colour. That's a lovely little retro piece. Look at that.
Still in its box and
Nice.
everything. Mm.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Big
That's the kind of things we like to find, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's that there?
I had that type. That square type strobe. $2.99. Look.
Oh, yeah.
The old timing light strobe. Old school.
Oh, I'll just get the other side of this.
Back pressure gauge.
I'll just get the other side of this so I can film you better. Oh. Trying not
Yes,
to fall over.
Push into your universal fit. You just sort of push that in, and off you go. You vacuum.
Yeah.
The books interest me quite a lot more than anything. These are people's service books. It's just collected, I think. Jaguar one. 2.4 Jaguar. 2.0 litre Mark II.
Mark II. Favourite bank robbers.
That's a Sweeney one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Mark II. So, sort of nice bag of car books here.
Yeah. Some good
Cortina-
stuff. This is the sort of
Cortina.
stuff we like, innit?
Another Cortina book.
Isn't that the same one?
No.
Oh,
It's
it's a different one. Ah.
Reg CWT 347H.
Wonder if
Walter
it's still
Birch. Yeah.
wonder if it's still around, that one.
And then I tell you what,
I would guess not, but
do
you never know.
No, well, I'll tell you what, it's not impossible. It has happened. Range Rover Vauxhall Victor.
Oh, Vauxhall, see. Yeah. Get some Vauxhalls in it.
Do you remember these books? I don't know if you remember them or not. On the road.
Yeah, I've seen them before, yeah.
Marshall Cavendish did it.
Yeah.
He did all sorts of. These are great books. Look.
Yeah, didn't you like get one each week and then you could put them in the binders or something?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. You put them in.
Yeah.
There's Car Fix It as well. Was the miniature version of this. Car Fix It was like a sort of more.
Is
compact.
it a complete set and all?
Yeah, complete
Ooh.
set. Very nice indeed.
So,
Complete
yeah.
set of On the Road. But it's not Marshall Cavendish. Marshall. Yeah, it's Marshall Cavendish.
No, I'm going to say it sounded
Yeah, no,
right
that's
when you said it, yeah.
Enamelling on Metal book. Super cover handbook portfolio for Leyland cars. Ooh, yeah.
That
Music.
records.
Music Maestro.
Records. Oh, that's mad.
Be careful there. Isn't it? Put pressure on these.
What's that? That's a box set or something. What's that one? That might be interesting.
Classical, perhaps. Hey, classical.
Classical gold.
Yes. London Philharmonic, obviously the best, or one of the best for London.
I bet all the records are still in really good condition in that.
Rachmaninoff, perhaps. Any Rachmaninoff. Blue Danube, of course. The oldie classics. Swan Lake. It's sort of classic stuff.
What's
It's probably.
another random one that's pulled out?
Hang on.
If we can pull them out.
I'll put that back where it was.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh yeah. Wunderlich Pops 5. Is it? Is it German? Yeah, is it German?
Dancing.
Oh no, it's somebody called Klaus Wunderlich.
Ich liebe das Leben. Ein Bit in Kornfeld. It's all German.
It's Klaus Wunderlich on the organ. It's not the original songs.
No, I know it's sort of like
It's,
music
yeah.
type
Music.
stuff, isn't it?
Oh yeah. You want that for your jukebox, don't you?
Well, it won't fit the Dukey, but I don't want it to put on the wall.
Oh, it looks in really good nick and all does the record.
It is.
Yeah. Looks like it's not been played all that often.
It's not been out.
£3.80
£3.80 for.
Go on.
Found something interesting here. Look, it says compression gauge. Oh, compression test. Old school compression tester. Redex. That's nice. Yeah, you just shove that into the bore. It's like it just bums itself in, and there's your compression. Very nice. And glass is broke. Nice little original old piece. I think that glass is broke because that's been laid on top.
Oh, and
closed
it's
the
shut
lid
the
on it.
box, yeah.
Shame that.
Yeah, I think that's a sound theory.
It was just sort of there, just beside it wasn't particularly organised. There's a spooled up airline. Almost working, it's what's the service. That's a nice old original piece as well, look at that. Wall mounted, floor and ceiling mounted PC on Pneumatic Components Limited. Very nice old piece. Inspection lamp. Ooh, more old books. Look at these. A55 Cambridge, XJ12 Equip Toledo.
Oh yeah.
That looks a really clean book. That's Triumph Toledo, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, these are nice original genuine. That's proper. These are proper genuine manual.
Yeah.
Oh, it's well thumbed, but wow, smells good. More? Please be Cortina.
I bet they're probably more BL ones.
Yeah, he seems to be BL crazy here.
Yeah.
You're right, everything's BL. What's this? Is this BL, Chris? Triumph 1500 TC.
Is there a Triumph 1300 one?
I'll have a look. 15. Bit of a different colour, isn't it? Rover. Range Rover. Don't want that, do we? No, 2200s in the bottom. A Toledo. 1800 something.
That's a Land Crab.
Is it?
Yeah.
1800 Land Crab, yeah. Was that like bigger than the Maxi, the Land Crab?
I think it's. I think. I don't know. It was. Yeah, I think the Maxi were a bit shorter, but it had the same doors.
Yeah, what similar. Tapes, records, games, records and tapes shop. £3.80.
Wonder if that was a shop in Southport.
Should have been. Get up and boogie, baby. But they all had these sort of.
Yeah, them Top of the Pops records all had the
nice girls on.
Girls on covered, didn't
What I
they?
say is nice, lovely bits of totty on the front is what we want to say. Let's hope there's some more of that.
No, it had some tasteful ladies.
Yeah.
That's what we need to
not
say. We could say the tasteful pictures of ladies on the front. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. More classical. Have to move on from the records, but I could go through the records all day.
Oh yeah, I could. I like going around charity shops looking through them.
Big band Dixieland.
Everything's easy. Look at that in the middle of it. Right in the middle of the record.
Yeah, I think it's because it's. Well, you know that was actually a peace symbol. It's actually Hindu.
Yeah, it was originally, wasn't it? And then the Nazis
They robbed it.
took it.
I could look at them records all day.
Yeah.
But I haven't time.
We haven't got all day. Although it's.
Who's got an Allegro?
Oh, look
Genuine
at that.
Austin
Allegro 3 and all, yeah.
Vandenpla.
And the Vandenpla.
Covered, and the Vandenpla's covered, yeah. Well, genuine.
I wouldn't mind Vandenpla. I know that it just costs to look ridiculous.
Whoa!
Railways.
Whoa! HS125. Isn't it? Nice, that's the Merseyrail line, isn't it? That's
Some great stuff here.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was into his trains.
Great cars of the golden age. One for Hubnut there. Citroen South CV.
One for the nut.
Another train
I
book.
had that book, St Michael book. Mum got me that Christmas.
Ah,
Exact same book. Still got it somewhere.
real blast from the past, this, isn't it?
Nissan Bluebird. On the Quinn. Whoa, there's a rung missing.
Oh, yeah.
Rover 23, 26 and 35 book. One for Sheldon.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's just bought one, hasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, there's just loads. I could go through them books all day, but it's not good viewing. Let's keep moving.
Keep moving, let's try and get out of here without tripping up other stuff. Yeah. You're going round the other way.
I can't get out of this way. There's stuff hidden in the corners here as well. That's a welder.
What's that arch off?
Shogun.
No? So?
Hey, a relay on the back of this.
Oh yeah, let's get the back of it up. Let's have another look at. I reckon this would be a good. I reckon this would be a good daily for Steph.
It's mint this.
Yeah.
I don't know her personal habits, but this is.
No, she likes Max's. I'm sure she does.
Well, it's worth a lot.
What engine is it?
Uh,
It's a Maxi. Oh, it's a Maxi 2, not a Maxi 3. I got it wrong. There it is. BWM 450X. It's got. I think that's the original dealer plate and all. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. Harry James and Son in Liverpool.
okay.
But it's the original number plates on it. Yeah.
What prefix is it?
Hmm.
What plate is it there?
X-Reg is 8182.
WM though, WM. It's not Preston, is it? WM.
Oh, don't know yeah. I've no idea what the. There's a place online you can look it up, can't you?
Is that my soda?
No, it's mine. Is that one? Get your own.
Yeah.
If you can remember where you put it.
Yeah, it's over there. Covered it, haven't you? It's in the 60s.
What's that? Oh, CDs.
Classically like.
What's that? What are they for?
Oil filter removal tools, perhaps.
Ah,
Maybe.
right. Yeah, sort of looks that shape, doesn't it? Is that foot welder? Is it welding gas? Or?
Yeah. If you buy it, if you'll sell that, that's well, yeah.
You could take that now, couldn't you?
I can't tell there's anything in it.
What's the sill off then?
Don't know. Happy though, whatever it is. Shopping basket,
I've no idea what the sill's off.
more records. Bentley hook caps. A shopping basket. So there's the rest of the balloting kit. The floor cleaner that as well. Sprays onto the floor, I think, and then you vac up your tile floors. Nice. 20 quid. Oh, for it. 50 quid. 20 quid.
Will we get all this stuff in your car today then? Or
No.
will we have to come back in my van to put it all in?
Back in your van.
He's found his soda. Yeah.
A wooden model.
Oh yeah.
That would be the
1933 Packard.
Impact. Had some use.
There you go.
Whoops.
It's like the more stylish than them it is, isn't it?
Accurate. So, look at this old scene. That's part of the original factory.
Oh yeah, because look at the brick seats on. Yeah. Yeah, that's an original fixture, is that?
West clock. Still going.
Oh, mountain wheel, here. Just nestled amongst
Yeah,
there.
nice. Classic mountain wheel.
Yeah. Some gaskets. Yeah, that clock could look cool in your garage.
Yeah, it would. It's nice, that clock.
Boss, well, that'd look cool in my garage. I've got enough rubbish in my garage.
4-poster lift. The benches on it. I think we covered it, Chris. Interesting little stop. Along the way, we better get to Blackburn. We've got a big.
Do you want to do a finishing off thing? Stood in front of it, Jag. If I get you and the Jag in the shot.
No, it's nice to get that stuff marked there. Could this be me? Do you like it? I must admit, do you like these? I like that front. I like this car. Needs a little bit of work, but this could be coming away with us. It really could. But we're going to run out of time, folks. We've just stopped here as part of this Friday night film. We're going to get to Bradford and rescue a GXL. We better get on the road, boys. Come on, Chris, let's get on with that GXL. We'll lock this place back up. A great little time capsule.
Action.
Wow, what a trip, what an old school. Since 1950 he said he's been running the car garage from there. Wow, I bet you'd find more gems if we kept on looking, but talking of golden oldies, our boobies are back in the mix. Wow, bikini action.
The boobs are back in
Of course you're not allowed to say that on YouTube, because someone, but you can have a topless bloke on YouTube and that's alright. Work that one out, Chris. Fancy
yeah, I know. That's going to be me soon, isn't it?
I mean, you've got a big following now. There's a lot of girls after you now on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I'm just
No, you're
chick magnet.
yeah, this is what I'm saying. We're happy now. We're retiring anyway. Chris has bought the. How much for the Volvo? How much for the Volvo?
Oh, it's 200 quid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Let's get to Bradford, everybody. Come on, we're going to Bradford now. Got to go rescue a GXL. Let's go downtown and check that GXL out. I want it on the back of Dave's. Oh no, Dave's yard first. Oh no,
Got to
Andy
Dave's
first.
yard to get
Andy,
the.
Andy.
Oh yeah, and Andy.
Andy.
Don't forget Andy.
The lens. We pick him up. Let's get the hell out of here. See you in a minute. Okay. Anyway, Chris is on doing what needs to be done.
That curry sauce is lovely.
Get that down, yeah. Go on, my son. Just wait till you get on that burgers. This won't fit with the video because we're getting this and then burgers. It'll have to be another day when we go and pick the car up. Whoops. PC from Cortina City on a Saturday night. Little bonus video. We just launched a video last night, Friday, with a road trip. I'm in the garage Saturday, all recovered after some drinking on a Friday night. We're all okay. Today we are doing some engine bay detailing work, and the first car in the shop is Swampy for engine bay detailing. It's done actually, because we're nice and clean now, but I want to just talk you through what we're doing. Swampy was first in. All three cars are coming in for engine bay cleanups every few thousand miles. In Swampy's case it was a bit later, more miles on Swampy, but I'm rotating at least 3 cars anyway. Ruby, Bramble and Swampy. Tina G is a daily driver. Tina G's is scruffy under the engine bay, we'll talk about that, but these 3 are pretty tidy under the bay. Swampy has had a little bit of a spruce up. So there's 30,000 miles on this car now since I restored it, and the engine bay needed a freshen up. Now the paint's held out really well. You can see on these inner wings there's no paint damage or fading or anything like that. They've been cleaned up. Engine itself has stayed clean, but what we've done is freshened it a little bit. So using some very basic cleaning materials can get you quite a good result. Talk you through those cleaning materials now. The first thing that I did was the air pan. I've recoloured the air pan because it had faded out. Now I use RAL 5010 2-pack paint on that with a satin mixture in it to dull it off a little bit. So 2-pack's very tough stuff. You can get it in a rattle can from paint factors. And what you do with your air pan to get it looking really smart take your air pan off if it's looking grubby. Have I got one here to show you a grubby version? I haven't actually. They're hard to get, these air pans, as you probably know if you're into your Mark IIIs. Anyway, they can look a bit faded, and you can clean them up quite nicely by using thinners. So just what you call gun thinners. Here's some here, gun thinners from the paint shop. Very cheap to buy. Highly flammable, so be wary where you store it. But gun thinners is basic thinners, about £8 I think. Don't quote me on that. Get a little tub, a washing up bowl or something big enough to take the air pan, and use a stiff brush and just thinners it. Now the thinners does not attack a Pinto air cleaner box. It's alright. Some plastics will melt, but I found that it doesn't affect the air pan. Okay, so you can just scrub all the grease off it with the thinners, and that gives a good key for the 2-pack paint. So that's what I did with this. Scrubbed with a stiff brush all inside the little crevices and cleaned it. Took the old paint off because it had been painted before when Swampy was restored. So stripped it back to nothing again. And then what I did was, once the thinners had evaporated off, a quick dust down with the air gun, and then I applied a rattle can, RAL 5010, which is a 2-pack rattle can. Again, I haven't got it here, but a rattle can just like this, but it has an activator in the bottom that you punch. You've got about a day's use out of it before it hardens. And that was straight to the air filter, but masked off the trumpet here, the little funnel, masked that off. Scotch brighted that back, scotch padded that. Scotch pads are just like a scrubbing brush type cloth that you get in various grit forms. I used a 61. It's just a little square cloth like what you'd use for washing dishes, scouring pad, but you get them from paint factories. Round the tube like that, the funnel, the trumpet, whatever you want to call it. Masked it off, put the 2-pack paint on, light coating, 2 coats on there, dusted it back, and that gives you that finish. It's a good finish. It's really tough as well, so I did a scratch test on it underneath. You can scratch it off, but it tends not to get damaged in a situation like this where it's fixed to the engine bay and it's not encountering any scuffing or use outside of the car. In other words, it's pretty safe under the bay from getting scratched, because you can, if you really want to, scratch that off. But with it being 2-pack, it's blooming tough stuff. So that freshened that up. This air filter itself is actually incorrect for the car. It's actually a 73 one. You know that because the MAN logo, the MAN filters who subcontracted for Fords for these, used to have their logo stamped in it, and you'd get a 71 HF part code on the early ones, series 1, 2 and 3 there are. This is series 3. It has holes here which they changed the way it bolted down. I've blanked them off using resin to try and make it look a bit more retro. Strictly speaking, it should have an MAN logo there and a 71 HF code, but still looks good. I then used high temp paint on this. I've seen 2 ways that these are finished. Some are all in blue, some were done in black. The jury is out on whether they were all done in blue. I finished it in black because it doesn't last long when you paint it blue, because the heat from the manifold fades the paint. Black is the least noticeable fade back, bare metal back and painted in with, as I say, high temp paint. That's the air cleaner box done. I then went and repainted the inlet manifold just there, so we took it off. Then that's powder coat. There's no need to ceramic coat the inlet manifold because it doesn't get hot, or it doesn't get hot enough to destroy the powder coat. Powder coat can take a certain amount of heat, won't work on the exhaust side. Exhaust side was ceramic coated and that's lasted. It's faded a little bit, but that's what you get. It's double coated ceramic. It's been on it since I did the car. No need to have done anything to that. The decals here were reapplied because they'd faded out. So those labels you can get for £2. So I have a load in stock. Once they start looking faded, they come off. last, well, say Swampy, what, 6-7 years is it? So that's good going. So we cleaned that, we did the air manifold intake, the inlet manifold intake, freshened up some of the hose connectors, put new clips on those just to freshen them up, a couple more to do. Changed the oil, set the timing. This needs a valve clearance check. We think that this engine now has got valve seat recession on inlet 2, showing up on the Krypton machine as a weak cylinder on 2. With the Krypton machine, you can knock out a cylinder at a time while it's ticking over with these buttons. When you knock out cylinder 2, at least at idle, the difference it makes on 2 is, well, shall I say, you don't get a lot of engine rev drop when you knock out number 2. The rest of them have quite a dramatic effect, but cylinder 2 doesn't have much effect when you disconnect the HT signal to it. So in other words, you remove the spark from piston 2, cylinder 2, and the engine doesn't notice it much, which tells us that there's something wrong with that. Spark's good, so I'm going to make a guess that it's either valve clearances or valve seat recession. It's not an unleaded head, so that would stand to reason after 30,000 miles. We've probably got some seat recession on that. That said, the car's very powerful, and I was speaking to a mechanic guy yesterday. You see it on the video. He mentioned to me that you'll notice it more on tick over because the revs are lower, and then when you sort of got the engine up to revs, the recession's not as noticeable, so you'll still get power, just you'll notice it lower tick over. So that's possible. So I'm going to take the rocker cover off. I'm going to look at that. I've done a compression test and it is in the green, funnily enough. So we're going to redo the compression test. So Swampy needs a little bit of an investigation on cylinder number 2. It's not enough to make the car not run or be usable. It's just, it's not quite at its peak tuning. Cleaned up the top of the radiator. New decals on again for that by just scotching it and then satin black the radiator head. They'll fade after time. The hoses, just a little bit of silicone on. I use this great stuff. I hope that I can see it because that will be 3 times on the run. When I've not shown you the solutions, I will find them. I've got some silicone spray, but it's different stuff than what you're used to. I'm looking as I speak behind me. Let's see if I can see it. It will be here. I think that's it. That's not it. I've got a lot of cleaning stuff here, look. There it is. We have got it. Nope, that's epoxy spray. We haven't got it. What have we got? What have we got? White grease. Can't see it, but it's in a tub very similar to this. In a tin very similar to this. That's spray adhesive. That's for my decals. Talk about that in a sec. Can't see it. I'm sorry about that. I'm very unprofessional of me. Where is my super silicone spray? Did I put it in my valeting box? Perhaps. Maybe we did. Is that it in the valeting box because it's used for valeting? Yes, it is. Silicone lube. That's good for the hoses. Whoops, it was till you knocked the cap off it. Whoa! It's English for stop a horse, folks. Woohoo! So it goes on and let it soak in. It actually soaks in. It doesn't look too shiny once you rub it back. It gets your hoses a bit fresher. Okay, so we did that with the hoses. And then obviously a detailed cleaning of the block itself, the engine block. Going to get the torch. By the way, get yourself a rechargeable torch. They are worth their weight in gold. This has lasted me long. This is great little Sealy rechargeable. It's been great to me. Let's look down there. We've cleaned everything up. Toothbrush in. Some degreaser. Here's my degreaser. It's in a little spray bottle, look. And I use this stuff called Nerta. It's blooming great stuff. All the Nerta stuff. This is that's Nerta wax. I've got, again, I might have decanted it all now into this. No, there it is, the Nerta stuff. I knew I had another fresh tub. Look at this. Super degreaser. That stuff goes into a little spray bottle, then apply to the block and all the way around it. Toothbrush in. You can rinse it back. It's fully biodegradable and water soluble and washable, so it saves you money on going to Halfords buying small amounts of gunk and stuff. Works well. So I degreased and we've just tarted it up. Okay, here's another little tip. When you get your master cylinder redone, if you are going that far, I put a little bit of 2-pack, what would you call that? It's called 2-pack clear lacquer on there. It stops the galv corroding. This one was probably too late by the time I did it. Should have done it when I first got it done. But I put lacquer on the master cylinder. Keeps it from tarnishing down, dulling down. Also do that on the rad cap. Stops that dulling down. We use lacquer anywhere else? I don't think so. That's it for the lacquer. That's it for the degreaser. That's it for the blue 2-pack RAL 5010. Toothbrushes in then to all the little crevices that you've got. Get in everywhere you can. A little bit of compressed air. Careful with your compressed air. Don't want to lift any paint or blow any paint off. Sometimes if you've got a chip on the edge of your paint and you get compressed air, and you can take a little bit of paint off, depending how well the paint's stuck, but it can be dangerous with compressed air. So you sort of keep it at a distance, compressed air, a little bit of water, a little bit of a toothbrush, and just keep going. It's one of them things you can just spend time on detailing your bay. Little bit of tyre black, would you believe, or I use the Maguire's tyre, or what's it called again, is the tyre gel on the heater box, then rub it back. That just keeps a bit of a sheen on the heater box. So that was that. These hose decals here want renewing, now they're faded out. I have them made. This has also had a service, so I put the service decal on the pan at the side, writing down the numbers. Also has a tune-up card or paper document here for the Krypton machine, giving all the references and numbers that we got. Brake pads are checked, oil filter was changed. I'm running an EFL 50 filter, which are quite rare items. It's a more compact filter than the EFL 90 filter. I use this because it looked good in a concourse way, because it's a Motorcraft white filter with a Motorcraft decal, and you can get these decals and stick them on. I don't think they look as good. That is a smaller filter. It does work. You are better off with the bigger filter. Once I get another Motorcraft one, I'm going to swap that out. I just could get me on the road while I was doing this particular job. A little compact EFL Motorcraft filter. Here's the box. Here's one. I think that they were for other vehicles, but they do fit Pinto, and I think that a smaller filter will need changing more frequently. 6,000 is the recommended interval. Let me know what you think about a downside of fitting a smaller capacity filter. It's about 1/3 smaller, that one. Might be the wrong thing to do. I'll keep my eyes out on that. I always put Rain-X in the washer bottle. A little squirt of Rain-X goes in. That stuff's great. It assists with your wipers. Blades have been replaced. I've had a lot of the videos you'll see streaks on the screen, simply because I've not been replacing the blades. Speed blade inserts are hard work to find. These ones you can get off eBay, a complete unit. So if my rubbers start to go, they seem to only last a year or so, these rubbers. I replace some of these brand new ones. The arms stay the same, of course. Speed blade ones are hard to find. Here's the old ones off Swampy on the bench. They're gone. Not the arms, by the way. Swampy, funnily enough, had the wrong arms on it, I noticed. I've never noticed that before. They were too long. They were for a Granada. How have I missed that? I do not know, but I did. So anyway, wiper rubbers were swapped, oil was changed, air filter was replaced, the usual servicing things. You can see the spark plugs are new and gapped at 0.6. The engine was flushed out, and we used the Blue Coal engine coolant at a 50-50 mix. Actually on mine I go 60-40 coolant versus water, so 40% water. Then I write down on a little card, these cards I have made, detailing cards, showing when the system was flushed out and when it's due for renewal. I think it's just a nice little detail. The battery's held out, would you believe, after all this time. Still a great battery, showing good capacity. I had a drop test on it and the battery's like new. I was very surprised about that. Swampy is always on trickle charge, so that's helped save the battery. Battery has some detailing decals on as well, where they're copied directly across from a Ford, genuine Ford battery. So those are exactly real deal. These, what would you call these caps? Are just stickers on the caps. You can't get red caps, but I'm looking to get some red caps made to take off the old batteries and put red plastic insert caps, refill caps on the battery just to help. The plus sticker there should actually be on this side, although I have seen it on that top sometimes, but I prefer them on the top bit. So that's that. Motocross sticker goes back on. If you have to get a new battery, just done that on Ruby actually. Ruby's just had a new battery. I peel this off and then use, that's why that spray adhesive was out, because I've been reattaching some battery decals. I'll show you when we roll Ruby in a minute. Spray adhesive, because the normal adhesive with the decals is not strong enough to withstand being peeled off and then reattached. It loses it. The first time you put the stickers on, you're probably okay. Although having said that, again, I've had some decals that do not stick very well, even when they're out off the sticker sheet. So if that's the case, I use that spray adhesive. Indeed, I've done that on the radiator sticker, which is renowned for trying to peel, on the aftermarket ones at least. And I said I've done it on that plus sticker, and I did it on these top battery stickers. You can just see some of the adhesive that's leached out at the edge of the sticker, but it's not really noticeable. So this runs on a standard distributor, the Motograph one, which no one seems to like. Funnily enough, I got all my best results from the genuine Motorcraft distributor. The reason for that will be that there is a difference across the entire engine range of bobbin weights inside the distributor. I think that the VAC HG pressure is the same on the advance and retard diaphragm, but the fly weights or the bobbin weights inside the distributors are matched to 16 2-litre engines, and also to the cam. Now Ford didn't really change the cams, so this suits a standard cam. I might not use it. If I got a Kent cam, I might have to get a different distributor weighted setup, and indeed that's the case on Bramble and Ruby. Sorry, the case on Bramble, on Ruby, sorry, I'm getting my words. You talk backwards, I'm getting my words mixed up. We call a hangover. Yeah, but for Swampy's standard engine, which is very nippy by the way, this distributor works very well. It's got new points in it. It's not an electronic ignition. And talking about electronic ignition, okay, when you have the standard point and condenser, you get a much cleaner readout on your screen. Really, I should show you this, shouldn't I? I might do that for you. You get a much cleaner readout of the point gap and spark gap and everything than you do when you run it with an electronic ignition system. I don't know why that is, but it seems to like reading the points setup better than electronic ignition setup. Not to say that the electronic setup isn't working, it's just it seems the machine likes that points when it comes to the display, at least, a lot better. So Swampy goes on to the Krypton, and we were able to see that the distributor was doing its job, whilst cylinder 2 was down, and the Krypton demonstrated that everything else was okay. Check the distributor wasn't the fault for the weak cylinder firing, but it wasn't. So I used, those are, get a worse name than they deserve, because they work very well. Tina G runs one of these too, so don't worry if you've got one of them. Fitting a Bosch one, Bosch ones seem to be better engineered, and I think that the centre shaft on the Bosch ones last a bit longer. Your weakness on these is the centre bearing can go. That shows up on the Krypton though. When the centre bearing shaft wobbles, it does show up on the Krypton machine as a jump in the spark trace. This one's in good order, there's no play in it. I like the fact that it's an original Motorcraft one in this particular application of the bay. Short king lead there, that's important. Don't put a longer lead in. That's short. You could get it
probably just about the right length of the king lead to the coil. I always use the elbow at that side because it routes the cable out neater and into the coil there, looking very neat. Ballast setup, 9-volt coil, ballast resistor here. They can be troublesome, but this shows all good on the Krypton. Ballast giving 9 volts, 12 on crank, so that's all great. Now that system works, there's no need to change anything there. The car runs flawlessly. So if you've ever got doubts about certain items being no good, this depends really. Those distributors are all right. New PCV valve, so that's positive crankcase ventilation. That's here. You get them from Burton's. About £8 are they? The PCV valve is a one-way valve which draws the fumes out of the crankcase and burns them back into the cylinders. And you always put it on, there's 2 places you can fit the pipe. You can by mistake connect it to the vac for the servo, but they go on the inlet here. The reason that it goes there and not on the right hand side pickup is that when you're sucking fumes through this out of the crankcase, you want to burn those fumes evenly between all 4 cylinders. If you were picking up your crankcase ventilation and bringing it in this side of the manifold, the airflow would only go to cylinder 4, a little bit to cylinder 3, and cylinders 1 and 2 would have different burn. So this distributes it evenly by having it on that first inlet position. It goes into a rubber grommet in the box, the catch box. I'll show you that. The camera's going to come in now to show you that catch box. In we go. I think we can show you that catch box. There it is. So that's a little, that stops oil directly going up the tube, basically separates it. It's an oil separator, so it doesn't splosh up the oil out the sump and draw it up the pipe. It sort of separates it out. Rubber grommet comes with the new valve kit from Burton's. Plug it in, got a nice tight seal then that makes for better engine running. If this tube, this pickup pipe, which is a specially shaped one, they're hard to find. I got a few new old stock ones, hard to get that shaped tube. You can use a thick walled R6 piece of tubing and route it gently so there's no kinks in it, but I've managed to get the original one. Swampy's actually was cracked. Yes, not yesterday, but when I've been doing this detailing work I noticed that. It runs a lot better now with that repaired or replaced. So it doesn't need to have a Jubilee on there. If you get a good fitting clip like this one, looks more original. On it goes. That draws the fumes, reburns them back up. The air is brought in through the cap. You can check your cap for clogging up. This is very clean, didn't need to do anything to it. You can wash those in paraffin. There's a gauze there, and the air intake holes are circled around. You can just see them. So air is drawn in through the top. It then works its way through the engine, and fumes, crankcase fumes, are brought out of the sump and burned back into the inlet manifold. And that's to do with emissions, and also stops the engine from pressurising, because you do get a little bit blowback past your rings, which could pressurise the sump and blow the sump gasket. So you have this. You know more about it than me. I'm not a mechanic. Cleaned up the starter motor casings, but there's nothing wrong with them, just clean them up. Fuel pump was replaced actually as a matter of course after 5 years. There's a new fuel pump, £22 off eBay. Great little pump those. I'm just missing a flying saucer now. What's a flying saucer? It's a little inline filter that fits just post the pump, about halfway up the pipe between the carburetor inlet. All the other cars have got them. This one broke when I took it off. Reason it broke is the new fuel attacks the plastic. We have ourselves a potential problem with flying saucers, in that the new fuel is attacking the plastic of the flying saucer inline filter. So if you want a concourse engine bay, you need to make sure that your inline filter is not an old one. So try and get a new old stock one. They're hard to find. This one cracked when I took it off, which shows the plastic was weak. So you've got to watch out for that horrible new fuel attacking parts of the car. And then talking about that, as part of the service, we've replaced all the fuel lines as well on Swampy. Here we go down to see this fuel line here. That's been replaced with R6. You can use R9, I think. R6 is fine by me. It's a thick-walled, strong, tough, petrol-proof, new fuel-proof tube. If someone puts in the comments that it's wrong to use R6, I'll bet you any money it lasts at least 5 years, if not longer. Okay, so all the fuel lines were replaced except the plastic one which runs along the sill. You don't need to replace that. It seems to never get attacked. I've looked at all the ones I've had and none of them show any signs of degradation. So we're okay on that main fuel run. But definitely where you go with a flexi pipe at the tank, you've got to replace that short link. Here's some of the tube actually that we've got as we've been cutting it to size. So it says on it R6. Tough stuff, if you can see that. That's not going to break down. What you don't want is the braided fuel line with the cloth on it. Whilst it looks Ford and factory, it's no good. It's really bad news. It's going to break. Here's Swampy's old pickup pipe. You can see that special shape that they use, and this was split. There was a split in it on the kink there. They do break down. That's to do with heat and oil. That was done. So this was part of Swampy's freshen up and service. In terms of paint, how Swampy survived over the years in terms of paint, a chip there, stone chip there. No, it's not. There is one on there. That was a bit of dust, but there is one on there. I'm surprised how well it has held up. Keen eyes will notice the screws are missing out the grille. That's because at one point I was swapping grills between cars when I was waiting for a grill to come back, and lazy me's just not put the screws back. How stupid. Paint. Well, it was a very good paint job, and there was a lot of preparation, and the finish on Swampy and the coach lines and the door shuts and stuff are attributed to the paint shop. They did a lot of work on this body shell. So that's Masters. Spent a lot of time getting it right, because obviously you can weld the shell up, but that's just a small part of it. That's just the beginning, really. You know, the real test is when you get that into the body shop and you start doing your panel gaps and your filling, because everything needs to be filled, and this has got filler in it. There's no way you can get away without it. Even new old stock panels come dented and all such things like that. So Julian and the boys spent a lot of time on all my cars getting these lines right. That's where the real deal is, just to get that finish. So if we look down the side, we'll see. Let's get the natural light on this side from the windows is probably better than the fluorescence to get a nice finish on it. So that's good. The only thing I would criticise, I suppose, would be that this door kicks out a little bit there. Can you see? I'd like that pulled in. But it's a minor thing. You're wary about pulling it in case you crack the paint. I had some paint done on this when a taxi caught a back bumper here, and this bumper hit into this, so that's had some paint there. But I've used it a lot, this car, so you're going to get that wear and tear. Some of the acid dipping process can be very aggressive, and I did have some leaching on one of the corners. In fact, I found it, there it is. You can just see here evidence. Well, that's where the fold is, the skin fold, and the acid can get trapped. But I think you can get away with that if you leave the car long enough. This was done quite a tight time scale, and perhaps it would have been better to make sure that all traces of that had gone. But it's not a real big deal. The vinyl roof's good. The interior's held out very nicely indeed. Carpets to be replaced. At the moment I'm running the Mark IV carpet in it. I've now found a place in Australia that does the carpets, all as one moulded piece. I don't like those separate carpets. They're not as good. So I've got one on order in the proper Marquis blue colour for Swampy's carpet. A little bit on the sill where that acid is leached through the paint over the years, but it's not got any worse. It seems to do all that in the first couple of years of the car. The bonnet, I say the paint has got little bits, but it actually sort of beds in nicely and it doesn't really detract from it that much. It just looks a bit more broken in, if you will, for that. So that's what I wanted to do with the car. I wanted to just freshen it up a little bit and give it its service. And then what I'm going to do now, I'll quickly hook this up to the Krypton and show you. And then I'll bring in a dirty engine bay, which is Brambles, with I think 1500 miles on it under the base, so it's all mucky. And we're going to clean it. I'll film it now before I close the film, and we'll just show you how quickly you can freshen a bay up. Granted that Brambles is recently new engine bay, but you'd be surprised how mucky it is. And we should be able to clean it in the workshop without too much mess on the floor. You'll get some runoff of the degreaser, but you just have some towels ready to mop that up. And with a little bit of compressed air, toothbrush, some polishes and waxes that we've just mentioned, you can get the engine bay back ready for show season. So that's it. So you can run a car and use a car and keep it tip top. It doesn't necessarily degrade as soon as you get it out of your restoration, and then everyone says it's downhill from here because you've restored it. As soon as you drive it away, it's not restored anymore. That doesn't matter as much because you're using the car and you're proving to yourself that you can keep on top of it and always keep it looking in showroom condition if that's what you want to do. I don't keep Tina G in showroom condition because it's daily driver, and it is a daily driver. It's my only car. I haven't got any other vehicles other than Cortinas as cars to use. I did have a Mondeo, but that's now gone. So you can keep a regularly used car looking nice and fresh. Although I must admit Tina G is not, but that's simply because I haven't ever done that. A Tina G was just from the age of, I've owned it 28 years and I've never really gone to town on engine bay detailing. I've restored it a few times, but it's never had a proper big hit. But it's going to get one. I'm going to get it as good as this. It's a separate job. Engine's going to have to come out. Richard Valentini, one of our friends on Facebook, will be, I'm not on Facebook, but he is, will be helping with the engine pull out. We've got a crane, pull it out, clean the bay up, detail the bay, paint the bay, detail the engine, put it all back in. Tina G, a rolling project, always has been. So Swampy's going to connect up to the Krypton, then I'll bring in Bramble, which is mucky, very mucky, and we'll clean Bramble's bay so you can have a little bit of a comparison. Here we go. Krypton connect up time. Let's do it. Okay, the Krypton is connected and ready to go. Just got to switch it on. King lead there. Sorry, king lead there, the grey. Spark plug number 1 there. Positive negative across the battery. And then across the coil, picking up. I use these little croc clips that I've made for the Krypton with little springs on them, and they hook onto the coil top quite nicely. That's all ready to test. We're out of gear. We'll switch on the machine, all the gear and all the idea. Krypton lights up, instantly giving us battery voltage at 12.2. We can check, coil voltage there. No, battery voltage. Coil voltage. Okay, ignition on. Curiously, we should only have 9 volts on that. I'll check that in a sec. I'm ready to power this up. Let's check that coil voltage. That should be 9 volts. Coil voltage should not be 12.2. That's interesting. It never normally is. Auto choke down. Okay, that's not right, is it? Let's try again. Auto choke down. I think we've got a sticking auto choke. I did check that. Okay. We're up and running, but I think we've got a sticking auto choke. That's not choked. Now, can you see that wobble, that wiggle? There's a little bit of wiggle there. 9 volts on the coil. $12 on the battery, but that's because I've not revved it in. As soon as you rev it in, the alternator will kick in. Rev up, but with no auto choke. So battery voltage goes back up. There's the alternator output. But what we've got here is no auto choke, and it was sticking. I thought I'd freed it up. That's running on virtually it's so it's cold. You press down to arm up your auto choke, okay, when you do one accelerator press. And that should do it. And that auto choke has stuck in the open position. It's not closed itself up. So that's a sticking auto. Now I thought I'd fix that. No chance. Right, what I'm going to do, take off the air pan lid, because you'll see that the flaps will be jammed open and that the mechanism for the auto choke is not working properly. Let's go and have a look. And the flaps were kind of like half closed, and then they went. There they are. It is on now, but it didn't close all the way up. It was about here. Hold on, about here. And it should be there. So it's just a little bit. The mechanism, you can clean it. They are notorious for going wrong. Let's just see. Oh, where's our air filter box lid? We don't want to have that cascading around. So when I fired Swampy up then, it didn't go to the fast tick over. It's either that or the fast tick over idle screw didn't seat back. I don't know. No. That's still not right. The auto choke idle is not right. Let's just see where it brings itself. It's better actually. That should come up on a fast idle at that position. And you can get to that idle just under here with a torch. Let's do that now. Okay, I'm just on the fast idle screw. There it is for the auto choke idle. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. Really should be about 1200, 1500 on auto choke. So slot it into the screw head and away we go. Okay, I've increased that, but the auto choke's actually now disconnected because it's warmed up. Note to self, don't adjust auto choke tick over with the engine running. Wait till you got your screwdriver in, then do it, because the pipes heat up and it cuts the auto choke out, but it wasn't high enough tick over. Now you can see a bit of a wobble in the engine there. Let's have a look how we look over here. Coil voltage, so there's our charging time, our dwell time, our discharge line, our dwell point. That's the spark there. Here we've got all 4 cylinders traced. If we rev up, all 4 of those look good. We go to our cylinders for voltage peaks, rev again. This is the thing I'm telling you about. Knock out a cylinder, okay? This will show you the amount that it loses on RPM. Cylinder 1. Knock out cylinder 3. Cylinder 3 runs the best. 4. 4 runs good. You can hear the drop in revs. What I'm effectively doing here is knocking out the spark to each cylinder. 1's the weakest out of 1 to 4, 1, 3 and 4. 1's doesn't have as much effect as those two. And 2, last one to check, hardly makes any difference. Look, knocking out 2. Little bit you can hear. But cylinder 2 hardly makes any difference, so we've got a problem with cylinder 2. If I rev it and knock it out, it'll probably have more of a difference. I can't do that with the camera on though. I don't think. That's running on 3 cylinders. So that valve is knackered. It doesn't show up in compression though. But cylinder 2 is doing nothing at all. Hardly running. Little bit. Well, it doesn't make much odds. Our guess would be valve seat has gone on 2. Indeed, you can really check it. You can pull the lead off, of course, if you haven't got a Krypton machine, but you can take off a lead. It makes no odds, look. And there's the spark. So we've got a spark. Nice spark. Look at that. Little bit. And it goes away. Let's look at our dwell time. Dwell time 58, 57. A little bit high. It shouldn't make that happen. Coil's good. Dwell time. So dwell time's around the 55 mark, a little bit high dwell time. I don't think that would be causing this fault though, so certainly need to investigate that. We could put the camera down, but without the right mirror I can't quite see the valve. Could be the valve clearance has drifted, so it's rocker cover off, and valve clearance check, compression check again, and we'll see what we get. Well, that's for another day. I'm going to bring in the other car for the engine bay detailing. Here we go. Oh, you can switch off, by the way, to check your starting crank amps. That turns us off, so you can see that we've definitely got something going on there. And whilst that test can be done without a Krypton machine, it just makes it a little bit quicker to do. It's not essential, of course, you can just pull your lead off, but it showed me that taking off lead 2 or knocking out cylinder 2, either by pulling the lead or turning it off on the Krypton's buttons, made not much difference to the tick over the engine, so it does seem to be running on 3, but it's very powerful, this car, so that doesn't make sense. That's a thing, I've never seen that before. I'm not good on engines, but I am learning. I've never seen that happen. That's a weird one. And I have done a compression test on that cylinder, and it came up in the green. We could redo it now, but I'm tempted to redo it just to see. I might do that now. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll mark this down that this needs investigation. I'm going to bring the other car in because I just want to get that grubby engine bay cleaned. I'll settle a bit better when the grubby engine bay on Bramble's done. At least we know what we're doing with this. It needs a note now in the service card that there's a problem. Funnily enough though, we've been using this car and it hasn't shown power loss. Is it going to run a lot quicker? Has it always been wrong? We just don't know till we start taking the rocker cover off and having a look at the condition of the valve clearances, and indeed if the head has burned the valve seat. I have got a brand new unleaded or reconditioned head that can go straight on this car, so we can always do that. I'm going to disconnect the Krypton machine now and we're going to get Bramble in the workshop. Okay, Bramble's bay is in and absolutely filthy from, I think it's about 1,500 miles worth of grime. So I've already started by applying the degreaser to the block and let it soak in. Don't worry, you can put this everywhere. It does no harm at all. It hasn't done for me over the last 10 years of using it. Never noticed any degradation or damage to paint, plastics or components. It's been used to keep swampy like that all that time, and that's showing you that bay, and indeed on Ruby's as well. We'll show you that next after this car, that this is no problem. You could argue it breaks down the adhesive on decals, but I haven't had that problem. But it's a gentle way of getting off oil splashes and grease, and doesn't attack anything that I know of. Nerta degreaser then. Great stuff, guys and girls out there in YouTube, Patreon and PayPal land. Okay, plenty of cleaning materials going on. All those fluids we just discussed. Some soapy water as well. Little bits just to wash down. The degreaser's gone on. I did notice with the degreaser, you might want to keep this in mind. There's a certain type of lacquer it doesn't like and it'll soften it. Okay, so watch it. That lacquer on mine was here on that brake pipe just to stop them corroding, and it seems to melt that, so I'll just check that. I normally use petrol proof lacquer when I'm doing any lacquering work. The only things I've lacquered under here, the servo, master cylinder, sorry, and I think that's the only thing, but it's better off diluted. I forgot to mention that as well. Diluted down the with water, the degreaser. You can use it neat on the engine, but I always just use a half bottle solution on the inner wings. And you're using water to wash it off, remember. So you get there. That's only if you've got a really mucky bay. I've got a little jet washer which connects to the hot water, red hot, with a sort of mini attachment on the end, and I can get in and wash down the engine block as well. But I'll make sure that I don't get too close. What you don't want to do is any damage, so a little bit of common sense as well. But just showing you the point of the exercise really was to see that you can get your engine bays back up to concourse pretty quick, or back up to tidy pretty quick. This has got another hour or two on it. It's a good couple of hours to do this right. We will have to roll it outside with the hot wash and give it a blast. But again, on a low pressure setting and only in certain areas. The rest of it is all done with hand cloths, toothbrushes, warm water to wash down the degreaser. Later on, when you're getting all the grease off, you can start doing your silicons, get your hoses tarted back up, and toothbrush out in any crevices. Compressed air gets in. I've got the wand, the nozzle attachment here. I'll just go very lightly in from that distance, not much closer than that. Round the gasket, the rocker cover gasket round that area, but very gently. The point about all this is very gently. You may have some cleaning products which you find work under your bay, and let me know about those. I've just got the air pan filter to do there. That's still got the grubbiness on it, and because that's plastic, I'll keep the degreaser off that part. Degreaser is really for where the engine oil splashed. So you're just using it quite sparingly. I know I just sprayed quite a bit on there. I've took most of it off now. Maybe I've got a bit carried away with that degreaser, but it's not done any harm. Just that it's harder later on to wash it all down. But that is detailing work going on. Okay, so we'll leave the film there. We saw about that valve on Swampy. We need to investigate that. Bramble doesn't need anything mechanically. It's running like a dream. It just wants that. Then obviously a full valet and clean down all the glass, all the bodywork, get all the right stuff on there. We've got a big range of stuff to clean with. Tons of cloths over there, loads of stuff to do it. It just takes time. Maybe a whole day if you really want to make your car bang on. So I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to resume this tomorrow. I like to do these just a little bit at a time. It's good when you're in the garage. You can just come in, clean a little bit more, clean a little bit more. Just keep going. But it comes up nice. Brake servo comes up nice. Everything comes up shiny. The power steering pump comes up shiny. They were both in 2-pack black. Rocker cover's powder coated. The air filter wasn't painted. That's just a good condition one. If it ever got tatty, we could always repaint that box. But that's just pure plastic. There's the large oil filter I was telling you about. There's a flying saucer in good condition. Swampy just, like I said, broke. But this one's already coming up clean. I've only been on it 45 minutes or so. We'll leave you for another video next week. We've got some exciting stuff coming up next week. A GXL to pick up that's going to come in here for some work. To help someone out, a customer. And in between, we'll just keep on cleaning. Okay, see you soon, PC. Okay, Bramble's had a very light hot water wash down. And as I said before on the pressure wash, you're really back with the lowest pressure you can get. You don't want to be lifting any decals, damaging any paint, etc. So just got to wipe down the air cleaner box now, and that is it. We're all clean in Bramble's bay. And at the same time, I gave the car some wax and a wash down. It's now time to put another layer of wax on the car, but it is holding out very nice and clean. So we've got lacquer under the paint, under those arches with the Gravitex. Pretty tough finish. It lasts out. Swampy's testament to that system. As you know, plenty of Dinatrol is in the chassis of this car. Bramble due a top up. Sorry, Swampy due a little Dinatrol top up as well. But all in all, an afternoon spent detailing the cars. The Fleet Ruby has got to come in next. I had a little stone chip on this wing, so I flattened it back. That one's now buffing up to get it back to gloss. That's a little bit dulled down that side, but other than that, and I had a fisheye here which I've flatted out to a 2000. Just wants buffing back up now, so just a little bit on the paint, a couple of fisheyes in the paint. Not much I can do though, it's not perfect. Lockdown didn't help because we were halfway through this job when the first lockdown kicked in, and I think really the car was pushed out another week quicker than I would have liked. But if I hadn't have done that, we wouldn't have got it out of the garage in time before they closed, and I wouldn't have been able to assemble it last March. So again, life is all about compromises, perfection, hard to achieve, and you can beat yourself up trying to do that. I'd like to try and aim for that. With me and Andy were discussing this, that 80% factor, giving you 20% of manoeuvring room. Nothing wrong with aiming for the top, but allow yourself some credit and some slack time. Don't be too hard on yourself with your standards, because you've got to mix that with enjoying your life at the same time. And if those standards encroach onto your enjoyment of life in general, then those standards actually become a liability, because time is limited. We only live a finite amount of time, folks, unfortunately, until AI takes over. But that's another story for another day. AI increasing exponentially, which is a lot bigger than you think. And yeah, artificial intelligence may one day
give us the key for everlasting life if indeed you would want to take it. So with that time scale in mind and perfection in mind, everything's a compromise. You have to draw lines in places where you're happy with, because life is about enjoying and getting out on the road. It's not about fretting too much about OCD things. They're there to help, yes, that's true, as long as you manage them and keep them within an acceptable time frame that works for you. In my case, it was 2 years to do it, and within 2 years I was able to reach a level of detailing that I personally was happy with. You will find, especially because a lot of people doing Mark III's now seem to have kick-started it all off again, you will find that people will nitpick at your car. Don't worry about that, as long as the person that's nitpicking at your car has also equaled or bettered what you've got. If they haven't, their comments don't really mean anything. It's very easy to sit on that armchair with 6 cans of lager, picking at other people's work, at your car, at my car, at any project we're doing, whether it's a Cortina or a Reliant Robin, it doesn't matter, but they'll pick at it, but they haven't done anything, so their words are meaningless. Only if someone had done massive amounts and turned out cars on a huge level, show winning material, perhaps their words would carry more weight because they've got some ground to stand on. But even then, constructive criticism is always the best. You can always tell when somebody is just doing it from bitterness and jealousy, simply by the way that the words are phrased, and quite typically there'll be a non-traceable name. They'll hardly ever put the name and address to it. Of course, restorers like you and me out there, and some of the viewers who aren't restoring but are in the same mindset, would say yes, no one's given their name for the obvious reasons. Okay, so don't let that for you. Quite a few messages, private messages come in about that topic. You know, people are picking at me and stuff like that. Don't worry about those bullies. Let them ride over you, because they haven't done anything and we're out enjoying the cars. So who had the laugh? Right, now then, we're done with the detailing on Swampy. We're done with the Krypton on Swampy. We don't need to Krypton this car up, it's already running tip-top. Like I explained earlier in this clip, that these electronic ignition vehicles, this one is a Bosch imitation electronic ignition, an AccuSpark 1, seems to run alright. They show differently on the Krypton machine in terms of the dwell, and in terms of the spark traces, seem more chaotic than a set of points. Okay, might just be the way that the transistor switches. Perhaps you'd expect the electronic ignition to be cleaner on the trace of the scope on the Krypton, but they don't seem to be. Doesn't stop it from running. There is an electrical fault on this, which I'm now going to repair before I close this video. Just a quick Sunday afternoon chat. A headlamp relay is sticking on. I've converted these lights to quad high beam, and to do the quad high beam you have a toggle relay which activates all 4. It dips, it toggles the dip to high and activates the centre driving lamps. You see those with the different shaped glass for the driving lamps. They're not the same glass. Dip and main beam lamp there, although this is only designed as a dipped lamp. It doesn't have the glass for high beam, but with the kit that you do get the high beam bulb option, and you can trigger that and it does work as a high beam. These are the main high beams, or the driving lamps. You see the different shape of glass fluting and Fresnel effect there, showing that it's the high beam driving lamp. Well, they're sticking on, which I would say is an earth relay fault. I've got a little relay inside here. I'll take the grill off, and that's due to the fault, or looking at the fault where I'm getting dim lamps and they're sticking on. The relay is locking itself on because its earth tag has probably come loose on the Phillips screw. It's an intermittent fault, which again leads me to believe that the relay earth is triggering. It's finding an earth through another path and locking the relay on, so when you high beam, your lights sort of stay on half. Never seen that fault before, but I'm very confident it's just an earth tang. There's not much else it can be. Simple relay
technology. Going to take the grill off, fix that, go and edit this film. Catch you next week. Got some exciting stuff coming up next week, folks, on Cortina City. 2 road trips planned. Glad that you're liking the road trips. Do appreciate that the road trips detract from hardcore car restoration, but there are some restoration projects coming in soon. But with that said, the audience may have drifted across to ones of sort of road trip viewers, kind of like, I suppose, entertainment in a way, and you lose some of your original subscribers because they're wanting continuous car restoration work, which is great, and I'd love to do it, but there's no revenue stream for that can sustain such a consistent output. If we were sponsored or doing a television program and we had a television budget, perhaps you could continue pumping out vehicles, but I'm sure you know the cost of doing this restricts us to the amount of restoration work we can do. I did do a Krypton for you to keep a bit of restoration flavour going, and I have got, as I said, I have got some rescue cars coming in very soon. I'm talking about in the next 2 weeks, and one coming across from British Guiana on a boat, but that's held up with COVID at the moment, so there is plenty on. To keep the momentum of the channel going, I've done the road trips. I do like to do the road trips because primarily I do like to try and entertain people. It's not for everybody, and I appreciate that, but it is for a heck of a lot of people, and it's brought in a lot of new subscribers who are just watching just for the road trips, which I thought was great as well. So we're going to get a mix of everything, really. That makes it quite successful. It makes it quite enjoyable for me to do. So I'm going to carry on, and also we've cracked the problem of revenue using PayPal. Of course, it circumnavigates most of the obstacles that we had. We can now have music on the films and still get paid. That's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for YouTube. It's a win for PayPal. It's a win for you, and it's a win for me. So PayPal link is going up on the banner. And the thing about that is it's completely foolproof. If YouTube ever stopped that policy, I can simply advertise the link elsewhere. You can donate whatever you feel is appropriate. Typical donations, £5, £10, covers the cost of the fuel and the trips, gives you some entertainment, don't have to do it all the time. And of course you've got Patreon as well, and if you've got a Mark III, you can join the Mark III Owners Club for 20 quid, which also is another way in. Patreon of mine is Patreon/Cortina. So plenty on, little news update, I guess, and a little bit of, I don't know what this was today. A bit of all sorts, really, bit of rambling. We've not had a ramble for a while. And on that note, we're out of here. Catch you next week. Look out for the videos. Subscribe if you've not, then hit the notification bell as well, just so you know I've uploaded stuff. Over and out, Pete C, Cortina City. Leaving you with Bramble. We'll just fix that headlamp relay now. That troublesome headlamp relay, we'll fix that. Could even be this one. These can go as well. These can be funny too. So we'll have a look at that. Make sure that's not seized up. Okay, over and out. Okay, before I go, I'm down with that relay, and you can see straight away it's rusted. So the relay has got water in it, simply because of its position in the grill and not as waterproof as I thought. So this type of relay, let's just show you, is not suitable for direct mounting in this harsh environment. Perhaps I should have known better, really. I suppose it was asking for a lot, but some are sealed. This one with a fuse in at the top isn't. We can rectify it with some gel, so we're going to put the gel on this. Strictly speaking, we should move the location of the relay or replace it with a fully IP65 unit, or 66 would be better. It has rusted, so I will hazard a guess that when I pop this cover off, you'll see all sorts of rust, and the contacts will be probably wet. So when you activate the relay and flash your main beam, the positive terminal is able to short out through the water to the positive terminal of the coil, and so locking the coil on, which explains the dimness. So that's what it was. I'll open that up, I'll show you inside it. We need to find a way around it. Best way is to get a replacement relay that is suited for this environment, because the wiring harness is such that it's all plumbed to go in this exact position. And there's the oil cooler, by the way. A little tip as well, these cars were overpainted with black after
to make it so that when you look at the grill, it's all a black finish through the slats of the grill. So I just use satin paint on that, and I think Swampy needs the same. I think they painted it on after quite roughly, but so that it was overspray. So I have done it the way that I've seen on other panels there, just a rattle can in black, just so that when you look through your grill, it looks uniform, not the body colour of the car coming through. A little tip there. Right, open the relay up and clean it up as best we can.
I'm going to just review my review lines back up, maybe go to different angle, whatever you Yeah, smoke inside the car now. Fill the camera full of smoke. I'll do it soon. Need a full 360 track round the car as well. Oh.